Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Common Good Radio Show, brought to you by Veteran Rescue Mission. I am Pastor John McLean here with my good buddy Ron Arenas with Picture Rocks Cooling, Heating, and Plumbing, keeping you cool all summer long and warm all winter long. And you're going to need to call him soon because you're going to probably have some maintenance needs to get your air conditioner ready for the
summer. That
summer.
hot summer is coming.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you can count on that.
Absolutely. And he also is the newest talk radio show host in the city of Tucson with the guys next door. Tune in every Sunday at 4 to listen there. That's where we talk about stuff guys care about, ostensibly. You know, definitely things that, you know, a father and a brother and a son, the guy that literally lives right next door to you. We're going to talk about stuff that that would concern maybe even your husband. So, you know, maybe you'll have something that you can kind of bring to that conversation with him later.
Right. Maybe just get into our minds a little bit.
Yeah, just a little bit. We don't want to give you all the goods.
No.
Yeah, you got to pay big time for that. But we have one of our many friends. I almost feels like this is the friend show today because we have Dawn with the. Let me read. I have to read the name because if I don't, I will mess it up. Ron knows that. With G&D Notary, and I must first say I have your card sitting on my table. It's a really nice card.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's very well put together. I don't know who did your card, but hats off to them.
Yes, Rand Williams.
Rand,
Blue
yes.
Pearl
That's
Design.
who did my card as
I get
well.
lots of compliments,
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
let's give him a shout out for sure.
Yeah, I love Rand. And and we've, kind of bumped into each other primarily at the Arizona Sands Club. I don't know if at any of the Chamber of Commerces or any of those things, but me and you both, we're both kind of out there networking.
Yeah.
You know, there's like probably 150, 200 of us that are part of that like heavy networking community.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
10 of those work for Picture Rocks Cooling, Heating, and Plumbing. and that's how we met. We're definitely still getting to know each other better.
Absolutely.
But so far, I've definitely been honored to have you around, get to know you, and definitely am blessed to have you on the show today.
Well, I appreciate the invitation.
Yeah.
It's been great to get to know you too. I do.
Absolutely.
Every time I turn around, I see your face, and I'm like, wow. Where am I going?
Yeah.
You know, wherever he's going, it's got to be a cool crowd to hang out with.
I can
There
live
you
with
go.
that.
Sure.
I will
Yeah.
take that.
And then, of course, your buddy over here
Yeah.
too.
Yeah, we're just hanging out on Thursday night.
On
at the
Thursday
BBB
night, got
mixer.
to really
Okay.
get to know each
Yeah.
other there. So
I was gonna go, but I knew Ron had it on lock.
right.
Or my baby
Good
was
grief!
at home
I
and I
don't
had
know
to
how many
babysit.
people were there. Gosh,
There's at least 100 people there.
100
I'm
people
sure.
there.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I'm
it
sure.
was,
That
it
was
was a
really
great
great
place.
event.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And all of a sudden, I'm seeing that. I'm trying to think of the name of the restaurant right off the top of my head.
Corbett's.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Corbett's.
I'm seeing it all over social media, so
Nice.
they're really getting out there. So
Yeah.
yeah, it's a very cool place.
That is cool, and
Yeah.
it's definitely. It seems like we have a lot of shared friends. So
Absolutely.
I definitely look forward to sharing with our audience your heart because
Yeah.
I suspect that's why it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I appreciate that
For
very
sure.
much.
So, but just to start off, our audience has never heard of G&D Notary before.
Mhm.
So, let them know, what is G&D Notary?
So GMD Notary Services.
M?
M.
M.
Yes,
okay,
I
had
know.
M.
It's my
GM.
initials.
Golf Mike Delta.
There you
There
go.
we go.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's my initials backwards. It was such a
Okay.
creative
That
moment.
is
in
creative.
my-
I like
I
it.
know. So I am a notary public to start. I've been a notary public in the state of Arizona for 18 years.
Okay.
And then I'm also what's called a certified loan signing agent. And I've been doing that for the past 4 years. And so subsequently, most people don't know what a notary public is. They're actually a public officer here for the state of Arizona. And what my role is to be an impartial witness. I have no vested interest from the signer or the receiving agencies who are receiving those notarized documents. So that's kind of what my job is.
That's cool.
Yeah. So you pretty much explained what a notary
Yeah, I know. It's very complicated, but some people have a tendency
Yeah,
to not
most
really
people
be
don't know,
understood.
so
Yeah,
thank
yeah.
you.
So,
What are the common myths related to notarization by a notary public?
well, one of the bigger common myths has to do with the legalization of the legality of the document.
Okay.
They assume that when I notarize a document, it's legal,
Mm.
and that's not true.
Okay.
Only a
Ah.
court of law can determine the legality of the document.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not there to read the document. I'm not there to render opinions about the documents. I'm there to verify the identity of the signers
Mm-hmm.
and then and basically notarize their signature, that they're signing it of their own free will.
Interesting. And what is the drawbacks of not getting something notarized? Because you're saying you're not the interpreter of the law, so
Right.
you can't say if this document is legal or not.
Right.
But there's a benefit in getting stuff notarized versus not getting something notarized. What is that benefit?
If I'm looking at it from a 3,000-foot level kind of thing, having your signature notarized basically states that somebody verified your identity
Mhm.
and that you did sign the document. But as far as, the benefits, that would be in a legal standpoint, and that's
Yeah.
where you would specifically talk to a lawyer.
Nice.
And because I really sort of my profession sort of butts up against the legal profession,
Mhm.
the assumption is that I have, legal knowledge. I have
Mhm.
legal knowledge in reference to what I do and what I
Mm.
can and cannot do.
Mhm.
But I am not a licensed attorney, and so I would be referring you to an attorney.
Right. You're kind of
in
like
that
a legal
respect.
witness, maybe, because you're witnessing
You could
them.
look at it that way.
We're-
A lot of what I do
Mm.
is legally, especially under the loan signing hat that I wear, the loan
Mhm.
signing agent.
Mhm.
I'm notarizing your deed of trust if you're buying a home or selling a home.
Right.
I may be notarizing an affidavit,
Mhm.
and you're attesting to the accuracy of the contents of the document. But all I've still really done is verified that you said, you are Jane Smith and that
Mhm.
you are signing this of your own free will and you understand what the implications of that document are.
Mhm.
That's it.
Right.
And what exactly is a loan signing agent? Because realistically, that's the first time I've ever heard that
That term.
Yeah, that term. Mhm.
So I'm certified. And I'm recertified every year. So what that is that I'm criminally background checked
Okay.
every year. I go through
Good.
a
So you're not a
background check.
killer. That's good.
Right.
Okay.
And haven't been convicted of any, financial fraud or
That's
anything
good.
like
That's a
that.
good sign.
Because of obviously real estate, there's a lot of
Mm,
personal
mhm,
information
mhm.
involved,
Right.
and
And even legal documents.
even
Yeah.
legal documents
Mhm,
and
yeah.
everything.
Mhm.
So, and subsequently, that I've recertified as far as best practices. We all
Mhm.
have our, I guess it would probably be sort of like a doctor's oath as
Mm.
far do no harm, kind of the
Mhm.
same concept and everything, as far as being certified every year, knowing what's going on in the industry and such, and taking best practices to guard people's personal information,
Mhm.
when I'm printing out documents or recording information about them. So everything's under lock and key.
Mm.
Everything is secured. Nobody has access to my office. It's under lock and key, password protected,
Mm.
all of that good stuff. So I take that very seriously.
And being mobile, did COVID help you with that?
Well, my business was, as far as being a loan signing agent, was born out of COVID.
Right.
Mm.
Okay.
Okay.
Title offices were closed.
Okay.
Nobody was able to visit. So I was visiting people in homes. I
Mm.
was visiting in the backyards.
Mhm.
I did closings on the hood of cars,
Mhm.
on the top of trash cans, in a garage, and everything.
Mhm.
So, and I think as a result, those types of services, especially the mobility, are pretty appealing to clients.
Sure.
Mhm.
Especially
You're going
they
to
don't have
them.
to take an entire day off of work, possibly.
Right.
And can still get the kids, probably feed everybody and put them to bed, the kids to bed, and then be able to sign the documents without a
Mm.
problem.
Mhm.
And so some people are still surprised that mobile
That you're
notary
still doing
publics
it?
are available.
Yeah.
Or, well,
Mm.
that it was ever a service.
Oh.
And it existed before the pandemic,
Right.
but it has definitely become more popular.
Mm.
So
Okay.
Mhm.
Starbucks is a very popular place to notarize documents.
Okay.
And what are your days and hours of operation?
So I am pretty much open on my business page. You will find that I'm open Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. Saturdays will be 10 to 3. And then Sundays I usually take off. But if it's an emergency or you call me, we can probably work that out. I'm
Okay.
pretty flexible. So
Awesome. Well, how can people get a hold of you if they want to get notary services from GMD Notary?
Well, currently my website is under reconstruction. I'm having somebody redo that for me.
Okay.
So the best way to reach me is you can try and look for me. I do have a Google My Business page, so you can find me under GMD Notary Services,
Okay.
or you Google, notary near me,
Okay.
or you can call me at 520-344-2747.
344-2747.
Exactly.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Dawn, for joining us.
I appreciate it. Thanks for the invitation.
Absolutely. This is the Common Good Radio Show brought to you by Veteran Rescue Mission. I am Pastor John McClain here with Ron Arenas with Picture Rocks Cooling, Heating, and Plumbing. I'm going to actually say the line this time. And it's time to bid adieu for a commercial break. But before you go, always remember, never trust a talk show host who doesn't laugh at their own jokes. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Common Good Radio Show, brought to you by Veteran Rescue Mission. I am Pastor John McClain of that very Veteran Rescue Mission, here with my buddy Ron Arenas with Picture Rocks Cooling, Heating, and Plumbing.
Good afternoon.
As well as the guys next door every Sunday at 4 p.m. We have in studio with us more friends, even though this isn't really like our Arizona Sands Club family. We had to go outside the Arizona Sands Club and find greatness and bring them into the show, and I am proud to announce that you'll get to hear more of these guys starting next Sunday at 3. So
3? Oh,
yeah,
cool.
every Sunday at 3.
Perfect.
So yeah, so
There
I
it
look
is.
forward to having those hard conversations with these gentlemen every Sunday at 3, and these gentlemen are one of my good friends, Aaron, and starting to become a really good friend really quickly. And Aaron, I'll let you introduce the whole organization, just because you made this all possible. If it wasn't for you, this wouldn't be.
Well, I'll tell you, man, tough conversations aren't easy, but they sure are necessary.
That's right.
Man, thank you so much for having us,
Yeah.
both John and Ron. And it's good to be here. And I got my colleague here, my partner, my big brother,
Yeah.
Brother Tony Ruffin.
Yeah, that's why I wanted you to bring up, because I mean Tony is definitely in our community. He's one of the OGs. He's one of the pillars, one of the foundation layers. So I wanted nothing short of a beautiful introduction for him.
Absolutely, man. You got it.
I appreciate
Yeah.
that. I appreciate it.
And so, when we're talking about, man, pillars and bridges, and I appreciate how you said that, right? One of the pillars in our community, absolutely.
Mhm.
Much as yourselves, much as the folks, anybody that's in the arena doing the work. That's the way we look at it, man. The people and the organizations are the pillars in our community. And we're here to help build bridges between not only those individuals, not only those groups, but between the people and the resources that they're connected to. And so a little bit about hard conversations. As we open up, man, we want to talk about really the difference between talk and conversation. Because that's something that gets mixed up. People are like, yeah, we're
Okay.
sick of talking. But there's a difference between talk and conversation.
Well, have you ever been in a situation where you were in a meeting and people just wanted to vent?
Yeah, sure.
Have you ever been in a meeting where you're sitting around with a bunch of officials and it's just about deflection?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
That's talk.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
When you start actually getting to the point where you're going from the same set of facts and working towards solving a problem, going through what it takes to figure out what we want to do, how much is it going to cost, where we're going to get the money, who's going to do it, that's the conversation.
Mm-hmm.
So we want people to understand that our tagline is join the conversation that leads to change,
Mm-hmm.
not join the talk that leads to nothing.
Mm-hmm.
So, making sure that we get conversations from talk to action.
Mm-hmm.
That's what we do.
Nice.
That's exactly what we're here for.
Well, let's go in our time machine back to the inception of Pillars and Bridges, and where the idea originated from, and then how we got to where we are today.
The conversation actually got started with my cousin. He reached out to me because he knew, I was out here doing advocacy and things like that, and he had made a contact with someone in the police department during the George Floyd issues.
Mm-hmm.
And he spoke to me and he was like, well, how are we going to get something going? And it just so happens I was actually going to a friend's situation.
Mm-hmm.
And I saw Aaron there. We hadn't even formed Pillars and Bridges yet.
Mm-hmm.
But after hearing him speak, I said, man, you got to be a part of this, you know, and I kind of brought him in and, you know.
He has that effect.
Yeah. And the thing I
Praise
like,
God.
the thing I liked the most was when we first started having conversations, he didn't come in, you know, talking to, he basically was just a fly on the wall,
Mm-hmm.
and he was just soaking up the information.
Mm-hmm.
But when it was time for him to speak, he was on point.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, yeah, this is definitely the right person to bring into this.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, man, it was powerful. You know, we're there. It was a George Floyd vigil.
Yeah.
And we're speaking and we're trying to talk to the fact that, you know, regardless of what side of the different issues that we're on and how we look at the people that we deal with in our communities or in power, positions of power, realizing that there's a greater authority
Right.
that's in charge of everything.
Yeah.
And so always trying to keep that in the midst of the conversation. And so, yeah, to Tony's point, you know, we sat down and we said, okay, well, I'm just observing because this work is already kind of moving forward, and how can I be supportive to it? And I know the biggest thing that we started to look at was not only is there policy reform, not only are there at different levels things that need to change in terms of authority structures and things of that nature, but it's also personal responsibility on behalf of community members and ways that we can be showing up different. And I think that's where hard conversations really happens. Because when we're saying we're here to tackle the big issue head on, we're going to hold space for emotions, but also be able to focus on facts. If we're trying to build trust and build transparency in our city, we recognize no topic is too big and no voice is too small.
Mm-hmm. And I had me and my family, not only are, you know, do we have the good fortune of being friends with you and your family, but I had the good fortune to bring my family to the most recent event that you guys hosted. Unfortunately, I didn't have the foresight of thinking not to bring the 6-month-old baby, but I wasn't able to stick around the whole time. But just to talk with the people that were there, be part of that community, get to meet some people, it was really amazing. I'll let you speak to it rather than me explain it.
Absolutely, man. So, you know, we were at I think that was step 5 in a 7-step process. But we focus on we specialize in facilitation and outreach. And those are some of the, as we've been doing this work, we're seeing those are kind of pain points and areas where folks get stuck and where the conversation really hits kind of a sticking point.
Mm-hmm.
And we want to be able to move it through there. And so that's what we specialize in. And so what happened there, Focused Dialogue Action Summit. What happened there is that, you know, we're coming together realizing we're dealing with a jail population that is rising drastically. And we're trying to come up with alternatives to incarceration. That's really what it's all about.
Okay.
Regardless of what happens, whether we build a new jail, whether we refurbish, however this unfolds, we're going to stay consistent in trying to build ways to reduce jail population and provide alternatives to incarceration. So 5 areas that we're focused on, completely community-led, community-driven, and sourced and resourced by agencies in our county and in our city. But we're addressing this issue from this lens of youth engagement, from the lens of mental health and substance abuse, from the lens of transparency and accountability, from the lens of justice reform, and also from the lens of, and we believe most importantly, community involvement and support.
Mm-hmm.
That's what we're able to do there.
Oh, that's cool. That's cool. And, please.
Yeah, I'd like to add that, you know, that's why in these types of situations, you need that independent voice to keep the conversations moving along.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Because when people start to break off into their own little cliques, so to speak, that's when conversations have an opportunity to really break down.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what community members, regular people, that's what they're tired of. You know, things get started and nothing comes from it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, from the time the listening sessions were done to the event you came to, we had actually figured out exactly what we wanted to do. Now the only thing we have to do now is figure out who's going to do it. You know, and that's one of the things we're doing. You know, we're putting out a call because there are things that, you know, that we're ready to get started on right now, and we want it to be community led. We don't want it to be some big organization coming in and trying to run this, because as community members, we have a responsibility just like the city leaders. Some problems are for us to solve.
Yeah.
So that's what this is all about.
Very good. So what? Excuse me. What community? Like you were talking about community involvement. What does that look like?
Absolutely, man. So, I was rattling off kind of those 5 lenses that we're looking at.
Right.
And I think the first thing is saying, what do you care about? What resonates with you?
Okay.
So if there's an area that you're particularly interested in, if there's a way that when you hear something about what we just said, like, hey, well, I know how I could help, or I know somebody I could invite to the table.
Okay.
Right? So people, their time, their effort, their energy, their insight, right? Once again, no voice is too small. That's the beautiful thing about being part of a community. Everybody has a different perspective and a different experience.
Yeah.
But the problem is when we all are in our own corners, when we're stuck in our silos, we don't know what's going on. And here's how it gets worse, Ron. We're sitting here talking and I say something that kind of ruffles your feathers and somebody says, I take my ball and I'm going home. And now the conversation stops right there.
Right. That's true.
But how do we get involved? We keep showing up. And then something that we're able to really hone in on and hold space for is keeping the conversation moving forward. We talk about from feelings to facts.
Yeah.
We have to have a space to talk and vent and get stuff off our chest. That's a human quality. That's human nature. You have to be able to do that. But once we're able to have that conversation, document and identify what the issues are, now it's time to start focusing on solutions. And what we have to be careful not to do is keep staying in that place of our feelings and our hurts and our hang-ups,
Right.
and start saying, okay, what are the solutions we can get to?
Yeah, and to speak to that, I mean, it was beautiful actually to be present. And I'm sorry you missed it last Wednesday at the Arizona Sands Club. They were presenting for the Heroes Breakfast because I thought it was fitting because them being the bridge between the community and the first responder community. And while they were there, one of the people that was attending, she does concealed weapon training, and for some reason in my head, this is my my human brain thinking, I was like, man, this is about to go sideways. This is about to go sideways real quick, but it didn't, and it showed me exactly what they're talking about. That it's we can have a conversation. Like, we can talk. Like, whether you like the color blue and I like the color purple, or you like chocolate, I like vanilla, just because, you're this and I'm that, that's insignificant. We can have a conversation. Like, we can be in the same place. We can play some basketball. We can have a good time. We can do a radio show together. All these things are possible through conversation. So I definitely love that you've shown me. You let me be part of it already.
There it is.
Yeah.
There it is.
And that's what that's what it's all about as far as we're concerned. And one of the reasons why I think we work well together is, well, as you guys can tell, Aaron is kind of like a scalpel. Me, I'm more like a chainsaw. So the two working together, it actually works well because we're able to get those conversations moving forward.
Nice.
We don't allow them to get bogged down.
We're going to keep you on for another segment to talk about this some more. But this is Common Good Radio Show, brought to you by Veteran Rescue Mission. That's Aaron and Tony. What did they call it? Andreas? It's Aaron and Tony with the Pillars and Bridges. I'm Pastor John McClain with Common Good Radio Show, brought to you by Veteran Rescue Mission. Here with my buddy, Ron Arenas, with Picture Rocks Cooling, Heating, and Plumbing. And I'm not even going to try to read one of these lines. We'll talk to you after the break. This is the Common Good Radio Show, brought to you by Veteran Rescue Mission. I am Pastor John McClain, here with my good buddy Ron Arenas. So you could call him Pastor Ron, but he probably wouldn't own that title because he hasn't been ordained officially. But he's my mentor, so that counts for something.
Well,
so,
thank you. I always appreciate that.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I love your intro music. It's like slow jams on Sunday with Pastor John.
Yeah, the guy who thank you. Yeah, the guy who I had made it, I told him I wanted gospel meets R&B.
Okay, yeah, you got it.
So yeah, I think we got it. And I've been telling people I'm the one singing it. They're not believing it though. So. But we have two of our buddies here. One of easy to say, one of my best friends, Mr. Aaron Scott, and then we have Tony here, who's one of his best friends. So that is, by associative property, makes him one of my best friends as well.
That's
so
right.
Thank you, Tony, for being here. And they're with the organization Pillars and Bridges. If you're asking yourself, what are Pillars and Bridges? They are the people that are connecting the community to the first responder community, and trying to help not only first responder community, but the government rather. They are the people that help connect the community to the members of the government, so that way we can figure out some solutions. That sound about right?
Yeah, that's pretty much it in
Yeah.
a nutshell. But we like to say city officials because it's not just the government. It's
Mhm.
not just police department, fire
That's so
department.
true. That's so
it's
true.
it's also there's a lot of other people in the community that are doing a lot of good work.
Mhm.
Like for example, Doyle Morrison over at the Transition Center, and
Mm.
they're working on actually getting people the services they need
Mhm.
when they're being released
Mhm.
and things like that. And then, you also have people like Lance Meeks. He's just now starting a new gun violence program
Mm.
that, they're going to be dealing with a lot of very tough issues. And in my opinion, the thing they need the most is the input from the community. That's the
Mm.
hardest thing to get.
Mhm.
And outreach is one of the things that we do.
Mhm.
And understanding how hard it is to actually get, real everyday people that are busy with their own lives to actually give up their time and come into something like that.
Mhm.
That's something you really have to appreciate and cherish. You can't
Yeah.
take that for granted. So
Mhm.
understanding that, that's our main focus. We want to give people an opportunity to come in and speak for themselves.
Mhm.
We don't want to speak for them. If we have to, they can let us know what they're thinking and we can relay it to whoever it needs to go to. But it's better if those officials actually get a chance to hear them speak for themselves.
Hmm. Yeah, and that's a good point that you said in regards to referring to them as city officials and not government officials necessarily, because you're right. A lot of the stakeholders in this community, including, in my opinion, Ron Arenas, they're business owners. They're just business
Mhm.
owners that
Mhm.
are also connected with charitable organizations and are also there to influence or to discuss with the other government officials their input and what they're hearing from their employees or from their community of people. So tell us about what the challenge is or what the compliments are in working with that the business community versus working with the government community.
Sure. And I think it's beautiful, man, that we can point that out because it's similar, I would say, to, when you say like a grassroots organization, in the sense that a grassroots organization is able to have, like, to be very focused, to be very targeted. When we're able to connect with the business community, they're able to identify and support the issues that are important to them. They may not have different like agendas that are driving them or different things that they have to kind of answer to. They're able to say, this is what's important to me and the communities that I serve. This is what's important to our employees and to our team. This is what the mission that's in line with like our culture as an organization. And this is what we want to be able to get behind and support. And
Right.
so that's one of the things we love about working with the business community.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I think no matter what side of the aisle that you're on, we probably pretty much agree on probably like about 97% of everything. I mean, we want good schools for our kids. We want safe neighborhoods. We
Mm.
want to be able to go out and work and provide for our families. We want a safe home,
Mm-hmm.
food on our table and a roof over our head. I mean, we all want that.
Yeah.
No matter where we're coming from or whatever. I mean, we all want that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And we want that for our neighborhood too, and our family and friends.
Of course.
Yeah.
And that's what we're saying too, that it's not about like we're apolitical. We're nonpartisan. We're here to be able to create a platform to hold a safe space for any community member related to any community issue.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what's so important. And we're not saying both sides, because
Mhm.
there's way more sides than just two
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
on any
that's
of
true.
these situations that we're
That's
dealing
true.
with.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah.
so keeping that center, but it's been a blessing. And we talked about at the last event, I think you were still hopefully there for this, John, how we're able to understand that the role we play is servants.
Mm-hmm.
We're not here trying to tell folks what to do and how to do it. We're here realizing that there are some pain points, that there are some issues, and we've been gifted and have the opportunity to help move those conversations to action. Tony mentioned it, and I got to say it again, join the conversation that leads to change
Yeah.
and is led by, informed by community, driven by community, and partnered with our city and public officials.
I'm gonna load up this question, so be patient with me,
Mhm.
because I definitely feel connected to it. Where I know with the work that I do with helping the unhoused community, not only the veteran unhoused community, but the unhoused community as a whole, is no matter, like you're saying, no matter what side, what dimension you're coming from with things, we seem to be able to agree we're not okay with people hurting people.
Sure.
Absolutely.
We're not okay with that. And, you know, no matter whether it's a firefighter, a police officer, another unhoused person, one of the business people, just a, you know, regular John Q. Public that works at Foot Locker. I love him. Hey, Jim, how you doing? We want to do what we can to make sure people don't get hurt. And I think that's what I really love about the work that I do is the people that are being hurt or at risk of being hurt, I'm getting them the help that they need. So those people that are hurting people, it's a little bit more obvious to those first responders and those people that we have assigned their job to make sure they get the people that are hurting people. So what is a commonality that you guys have seen from all the sides on a particular issue or issues that surprised you?
Well, to do what we have to do, the hardest thing is realizing that we're human beings too. We have our own opinions. You know, we have our ideas. Everybody thinks they know exactly what to do, you know. But when you go into it, you hit on it, you hit the nail right on the head. You actually have to have as many voices at the table as possible. And people actually have to put their ideas on the table because that way we can actually start to vet what ideas we're actually going to go with, what'll be the best thing to do, what'll be the most effective, and then we can decide this is what we're going to do. So how can you actually understand what to do about an issue if you're not talking to the people that actually live that condition? You know, so that's where a lot of the breakdown actually comes from, and understanding that, you're going to have your experts. We do our research on any issue. We do our research. I mean, we go crazy into the research. We find out everything we can find out about the issue. Then we talk to the experts. Then we actually talk to the people that live that condition, because the only way we can actually address an issue is to understand the impact that the issue has on the person that's going through it. And you're only going to get that when you actually talk to the person that's going through that condition. So understanding that going in, getting all those ducks in a row before you put the conversations together, that's what allows you to get those conversations moving in a more productive way.
Nice.
There it is, man. And that's where it started with this matter that we're dealing with right now with regards to the alternatives to incarceration. It started with those listening sessions and hearing what are some of the pain points, what are some of the issues when we the county received the John MacArthur Foundation, the grant around the Safety and Justice Challenge to help reimagine ways to reduce the jail population. The county was active and they rolled out a few strategies, right? But then it's saying, okay, how are those things working? Right? Are they getting to the people that need them? And how do you really know if they're getting to the people that need them without asking the people that would need them? Right?
So what upcoming events do you have that people can plug into?
Yeah, so we have coming up right now, March the 2nd. We're going to be over there at the Goodwill Rec, which is located at 1920 East Silver Lake. We're going to be right over there on March the 2nd from 11 to 2. This is our action planning to reduce the jail population. So we're here to say we're turning words into actions. We're moving forward. We've been in this progress now for a couple years. The work has been happening, and it's tough because we came through COVID. We came through a lot of issues. Of course, there's turnover. There's all kinds of stuff. Yeah, but guess what? You have to take the time it takes, and you keep showing up. So we're taking the ideas and the discussions we had, we're turning them into actionable programs. What's going to happen at that meeting on next Saturday? We're identifying concrete action steps. We're identifying clear roles and making assignments of who's doing what. And we're going to be now beginning to implement these action steps so we can hold people accountable.
How can people get a hold of you and plug in?
Please just go to our website, www.pillarsandbridges.org.
Well, thank you so much, Aaron, Tony. I appreciate you. I have so much to learn from you. And we'll see you next time.
Yes, sir.
It's the Common Good Radio Show brought to you by Veteran Rescue Mission. I'm Pastor John McClain here with Ron Arenas of Picture Rocks Cooling, Heating, and Plumbing. We're going to continue to thank our sponsors. But remember, life is short, but talk radio makes it feel longer. See you in a minute. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Common Good Radio Show brought to you by Veteran Rescue Mission. I'm Pastor John McClain here with Ron Arenas with Picture Rocks Cooling, Heating, and Plumbing.
Hello there.
And he is also the newest talk radio show with the guys next door, which will be going on in 12 minutes and 42, 41. It'll be going soon.
Yeah.
It'll be on soon. And he like usual brought in another powerhouse in the community, but instead of having me introduce him, let you introduce him, Ron.
Sure. So with us today for this segment is my good friend Scott Tilley from Track Ranch.
Hi, everyone.
Scott, how you doing today?
I'm doing great.
Good.
It's great to be here. Thanks for offering for me to come down and be a part of this. I'm looking forward to it. And thank you, Pastor John.
Yeah, absolutely. It's my honor. I mean, I was mentioning before the show. I think when we first started this show years ago, we promoted you because we were, I think, connected to Amanda Ritzel. Ritzel?
Yeah.
And so yeah, she gave her kind of donation for you guys to be promoted. So I've been a big fan of the work that Track's done for years. And I'm probably one step away from wearing a shirt like Ron's wearing that says board member of Track, just because I really support the work that you guys do a lot. So this is an honor to have you in here.
Let's do it.
Yeah.
So tell us, what is Track?
Track is basically what Track stands for is Therapeutic Ranch for Animals and Kids. Our mission statement is to strengthen kids and community through animal interactions. Our participants will receive specific vocational skills that will aid in their efforts to help themselves, each other, and the Tucson community.
Mm.
And the one thing we want you all to know is our kids are on track.
Mm-hmm.
That's right.
Yeah, they are. It's cool. So, tell us, I guess, I've been doing this a lot today. Let's get in our time machine and go back to the founding of Track and where that inspiration came from, and then how we've developed to where we are today.
Well, in 2006, I was running a very large boarding facility. We had about 85 horses that we were caring for.
There's a lot of horses.
And the economy tanked.
Yeah.
So, prices of hay, fuel, people's extra cash kind of went by the wayside. And so kind of the first things to go are, race teams and those types of things. So people were ditching horses all over the place out in the desert.
Oh,
It got to be a really, really bad situation.
that makes me not happy.
And my girls were still very small. And really, my wife and I made a decision that we really wanted our girls to kind of grow up in the ranch life. So we kind of made a big decision and a big jump to open a nonprofit, Track. We poured all of our life savings, every bit of resources and money we had into it. Started very small. We had just 2 horses, 2 chickens, 2 ducks, 2 pigs, 2 sheep.
Just like Noah.
Yeah, pretty much. Pretty much. And we built each program, as we got it up and running and stable, we would open another program and continue to grow the ranch. Today we have about 63 animals on the property. A lot of our animals are rescues. Some of them are donated and some of them are purchased. But for the most part, we've shown a steady growth in the last 16 years.
Nice.
And then COVID happened, and it kind of knocked us back a little bit. We were doing quite a bit of therapy work with behavioral health, veterans, first responders, kids with behavioral health issues, a lot of special needs folks, and a lot of those group therapies just stopped. Everybody went to telemed.
Yeah.
So it basically, with a lot of horses and a lot of animals, they continue to eat. It's 7 days a week. They don't know if
Just like kids,
they don't know if it's
so annoying.
Christmas or Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
All they know is that I get fed at 7 o'clock and at 5 o'clock in the afternoon. And you've never been more judged in life than to be 2 minutes late feeding the horses.
Yeah. We got chickens and a rooster on our property for our homeless veterans. So yeah, I know that rooster. He will let you know if you are 30 seconds late. Actually, even if you just fed him, he'll let you know that he's not happy with you. So yeah, that's a thing.
But it's starting to come back now. We're starting to get a lot of calls from different groups. The veterans group is reaching out to me
Nice.
now, wants to start doing some things.
Mhm.
We've had quite a few groups with specific needs.
Mm.
We have about 9 different groups that come out during the week to help
Nice.
out with different ranch duties.
Mhm.
We call it kind of our animal-assisted life skills, our work abilities programs.
Mhm.
And we do a lot of community service work where we take our animals into a variety of assisted living homes, memory care facilities, Ronald McDonald House, TMC Children's Clinic. Which is a kind of a unique experience because a lot of these kids that are coming in are here receiving services,
Mhm.
and they're turning around being the service provider. And we've
That's special.
we've seen over the last 16 years, it's a really powerful means of building their self-esteem and being a part of a community. And I think it's really important to teach that at a young age because it's a lot easier to train a young person than it is to fix a broken adult.
Mm.
Yeah.
That's a good line. I'm gonna
Yeah,
take
it
that.
is.
So I'll turn the question to you, Ron. You know, you being as involved with track as you are.
Right.
What's been your experience with the organization so far?
Just the community service and working with not only the kids but the community just to uplift it and make it better.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and through animals, I mean, the animal interaction it's amazing.
Mm.
It just the work that you can get done with the animals and the way the kids respond to the animals and the animals respond to the kids also.
Mhm.
So it's almost a mutual benefit with the kids and the animals.
Mm-hmm. And what about yourself? You know, just being a business owner that's really not part of this world necessarily at all, getting involved and kind of like getting, you know, entrenched in this community. How has it been? How's that transition been for you?
Yeah, well, from the very beginning of Picture Rocks Cooling, we wanted to serve the community and be involved in the community.
Mm.
And so this was just one of the things that when I met Scott many years ago, I just wanted to be involved with his world.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I guess Scott, tell us maybe a success story or maybe some success stories that have came out of track so far, which I'm sure you have plenty to share.
Ooh, man.
Yeah, pick a favorite one. I'm
All right,
sorry, it's
all
like
right,
picking a favorite child.
This
It's hard.
is
Yeah.
really a good one. So today I want to take you back in time to your 12-year-old self and the relationship you had with your father.
Hmm.
Do you remember?
Yeah, absolutely.
I remember big Saturday morning breakfasts,
Mm.
road trips, learning how to steer that old farm truck for the first time.
Mm-hmm.
Now imagine losing your father at 12 years old.
Mm.
When I met Tracy, she was struggling with isolation, depression, anxiety, and the loss of her father. And with 2 years of failed traditional therapy, she was spinning farther and farther out of control.
Mm.
She became so violent that her mother could not control her temper anymore.
Mm-hmm.
One day, she turned the desk over in class, and the teacher said, "Get out, out." Tracy refused. The classroom was cleared. Police were called. It took 4 officers to remove this kid kicking and screaming the whole way.
Mm.
I knew this girl needed help, and help fast. I'm Scott Tilley, Executive Director and Co-founder of Therapeutic Ranch for Animals and Kids. When Tracy came into our life skills program, she met Bravo, a 1,200-pound horse that would change her life forever. She would learn to control her behavior through a 10-week program that would show her how to train a horse. You see, horses are prey animals, and they will not go anywhere near a dangerous person. However, they are a herd animal, and they want that human bond. With the help of our staff, she would learn coping skills and gain confidence in herself through the love and passion for this horse. After completing our 10-week program, she has A's and B's in school, and the teacher says, "This is a different child, a model student." Tracy's mother broke down, crying, saying this was the only thing that worked, thanking me for saving her daughter's life. Now, my friend Tracy is a volunteer at the ranch, giving back to the Tucson community. That is our motto. Bringing kids in to receive services, and then in turn, being the service providers. And like I said, over the last 16 years, we found this to be a very powerful means of building self-esteem. So this is why I do it, and why it means so much to the Tucson community.
Awesome. Well, how can people plug in and connect with you and volunteer or donate?
The best way would be to go to our website. It's www.tracktucson.org, and that's TRAK. Or you can call the office at 520-298-9808.
Thank you so much, Scott.
Thank you, Pastor John.
That's Scott with Track. Definitely check them out. I'm Pastor John McClain with the Common Good Radio Show, brought to you by Veteran Rescue Mission, here with Mr. Ron Arenas with Picture Rock School and Heating and Plumbing. You tune in there for another 3 minutes. You get to catch the guys next door. We'll be right back. You keep your mittens on and your toes warm.